find her son.
Your Honor, she's not filing for a divorce. She haven't filed for the divorce, and she's not.
I will, as soon as I get home. I left the house due to domestic violence.
This is Judge Judy. Calvina Zeno is suing her estranged mother-in-law, Regina Marzette, for the value of a Samsung tablet and unauthorized charges made on a joint bank account.
Judge's case number 99 on the calendar in the matter of Zeno versus Marzette. Parties have been sworn in.
Ms. Zeno, you are still currently married to the defendant's son.
Yes.
When were you married?
2007.
When did you and the defendant's son separate?
About 2 years ago.
Did you move out or did he move out?
I left the house due to domestic violence.
It's your claim that you left behind a tablet, a Samsung tablet, and that the defendant at one point said she didn't have it, but then she did in fact have it and used it once, according to you. Where is the tablet now?
She has it.
Did you find her tablet?
I had seen it. She had left the tablet there. I never used it or have it. And she came back to the house 3 or 4 times.
Where is it?
I believe it got stolen. My son had left it outside on the gate to go in the apartment, and he came back, the bag was gone.
Was he living? Have your tablet?
I never used it.
From 2 years ago. Now, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is money owed for credit card charges.
Yes.
I assume these credit card charges were made prior to 2018, were made when you were living with your son and his wife?
Yes. We had it was around 2016. I let her start using it, put on the authorized user, and we had agreement. As long as she paid it, I didn't care what she used it for or whatever. As long as she made monthly payments on it. In May of this year, she stopped making payment. Then she made 2 more payments, though. She stopped because I used it. We also had a bank account together, Wells Fargo, and I accidentally used it charged my DMV $35. And so she closed the account, and I didn't know until I tried to use it. And then I texted her saying the account is closed. She said, yeah, I closed it because you made $35 charge on it and went over her account.
We're not getting involved in this.
Okay, that's when she stopped. And then she
fiasco that happened in 2018.
But she was making payments up to this year, and then I'm telling you the reason why she stopped it first. Because I used the card that she was making the payment up for with the credit card payment with, and the account went over, and she closed the account. And then,
Do you have a lawyer in your divorce?
No, no one is filing for the divorce. I have to turn in my paperwork. He don't even know I'm filing for the divorce. Okay. I haven't spoken with him since I left.
Okay. Does your husband work?
I'm not sure. I don't communicate with him anymore.
Your mother-in-law says that you had an individual agreement with her to use a credit card prior to 2018. What was that credit card used for?
The card was used for her son charges. I also made charges on the card. I used it for my guard card, which I believe is paid off. Like she said, I've been paying it since the card been on there, but our car got towed a few times. Security guard card, license.
Okay, and how much was that for the guard license?
I want to say about $800.
And you've been making payments since 2018 of how much a month on the card?
$150.
Do you have the credit card receipts or the bills that show how much she was making payments on? I'd like to take a look at them.
I'd like to show you this. This one I stop her from using it, showing the balance. When I stop her from authorized to use it because when it went over $5,000.
Who else is an authorized user on that card?
No one else. I didn't even use it, Your Honor. I make no charges on it.
Prior to 2018?
I have never used that card myself. Even me.
Do you have a card?
I have other cards. That's why I only set that aside for her to use, so I wouldn't have no disagreement with the charges.
Tell me what you used the card for before 2018.
All I can remember is using it for is my guard card and to get the cars towed out because he kept getting our cars towed. So we had she said for emergencies and we used it to get it towed out, but I continue to make the payments. That's why I don't understand why she's saying that it went over $5,000. Last time I seen it was at $4,800, and that was years ago.
Your Honor,
I don't understand. I never seen the statement, so I have no clue what's on there. I don't know who used the card.
I have statements she used it for her car insurance monthly.
Just a second. On September 17th, did you pay a Progressive insurance bill?
No, all my car insurance bills was paid on my bank account.
I don't have Progressive, Your Honor. This is all her charges and the wireless phone.
What year did you say was it, ma'am?
September 17th.
2008. This 2000.
Did you pay?
In 2018?
Yes, it was
No, in 2020.
No, this
No.
is 2018 right here. This when she was still.
Listen to me. This is a marital debt. These bills were accrued prior to the time that your son and
But our agreement was, I had agreement with her. Long as she pay on it is like.
Debt. Some judge, when she files for divorce, is going to determine whether this credit card.
Your Honor, she's not
This credit
filing
card,
for
and I
a
don't know who
divorce. She
else
haven't filed for the divorce, and she's not.
I have the paperwork at home.
She's not.
Well, I think that you should do that.
I will.
Because.
As soon as I get home.
Because I'm dismissing her counterclaim without prejudice. You have to file for a divorce so a judge can determine how much of this bill is a marital debt and whether your husband, her son, is responsible for any part of that bill. Like if a car was towed and it was his responsibility, but it was paid for on this card. I don't know, and I have absolutely zero interest in finding out, because when you file for divorce, one of the things that a judge will do is look at the equities of the parties and what they have and say this car payment, this bank account, this credit card bill, this is either marital property or individual property. And if those charges were made prior to 2018, some judge in a matrimonial part is going to determine that they're marital property, marital debt, which means that your son may be responsible for some, all, or none of that debt. Do you understand? Okay.
Yes, but...
Well, I understand. And I'm the only one who has to understand. Goodbye, good luck, have a happy life.
To build up her credit.
She wanted to help me build my credit.
She didn't have credit at the time.
I wasn't the only one to make the charges on the card.
I still love her, but she went on with her life, so I let her be.
It's time to file them divorce papers.
All parties in the matter of Lyons versus Munoz. Step to the podium, please.
Phillips Lyons Jr. is suing his former landlord, Inez Munoz, and her daughter, Roxana Munoz, for wrongful eviction, the return of his security deposit, and damaged property.
Mr. Lyons, you were a tenant of the defendants for 3 years.
Yes.
And you had a security deposit of $1,400.
Yes.
With the defendant. Your complaint seeks the return of the entire security deposit. She already sent you $500. She retained $900 of the security deposit.
Yes.
In addition, you're asking for other money for a whole lot of nonsense. Damaged property as a result of a pipe burst in February of 2020. You didn't move out until July. I assume the damaged property that you're referring to is the damaged property as a result of the pipe bursting.
No.
What damaged property as a result of what?
The roof leaking. There was heavy rainfall at the end of 2019, beginning of this year, that ruined our furniture, damaging the furnace.
Okay, I get Mr. Lyons, understand this, sir. You're a renter. If there's a leak or a burst pipe and your stuff is damaged, that's what renter's insurance is for. That's what homeowner's insurance is for. Yeah. That's not what this nonsense is. That's why I'm saying there's a whole bunch of stuff here that's nonsense. You want the return of your security deposit. You also put in a claim here for wrongful eviction. But I read your complaint, and I read in your complaint that you gave her a 30-day notice on July 21st.
Yes.
You gave her notice. She didn't evict you. You gave her notice that you were moving out. Where did you move to?
Long Beach.
Who did you move in with?
My witness.
Good. And had you been planning on making that move? Is that why you gave her a notice on July 21st?
Yes.
That you were moving in with a new roommate? Yes, so she didn't evict you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is that all your junk out there? Sir.
The property damage,
Is
yes.
that all your junk out there?
Yes.
That's not property damage stuff. That's stuff you didn't want. There's a broom there. That's ridiculous.
Phillips Lyons Jr. is suing his former landlord, Inez Munoz, and her daughter, Roxana Munoz, for deposit and damaged property.
Okay. Now let's talk about the return of the security deposit. Then the burden's on her. You had $1,400 of his security deposit. You returned $500. It's your responsibility to show me photographs of why you retained $900 of his security deposit.
Okay, $200 for the trash that was left in the curb. I have pictures.
Oh, so you have pictures and a bill or a receipt
Yes.
for who you paid to get rid of it.
Yes.
Good. I'd like to see the photographs and the bill.
Is that okay? The next one?
Yes, well, that's not $200 worth of trash.
Oh, hold on.
There. Yes.
Is that all your junk out there? Sir,
The property damage,
is
yes.
that all your junk out there?
Yes.
That's not property damage stuff. That's stuff you didn't want. There's a broom there. That's ridiculous. Okay, so $200. Can I see the bill for removing all that trash?
There's going to be 2 bills, okay, for the cleaning.
Yes, I'd like to see them both. That says cleanup.
Yeah, it's $200 for the cleaning the curb and $200 to clean the apartment.
Okay, so $200 for cleaning the curb.
Yes.
Now, edging was wrong inside the apartment. So you do understand you owe her. She rightfully withheld $200 so far for cleaning up the trash that you left outside.
I don't
Well,
agree
I'm telling
to that.
you do.
Okay.
I don't care whether you agree to it or not. That's your trash to get rid of, not somebody else's. What is that?
Okay, these are the boxes, the refrigerator boxes where you keep your vegetables. That's one of them. Fungus.
Okay, what else?
This is the kitchen counter.
Well, I don't know what is on there.
It's
What are you showing me?
There's stains.
The stains. I don't know if you can see. It's a yellow, very deep yellow.
Very sticky with lack of cleaning.
What else?
This is the drawer in the bathroom.
What color is it? Is it
This
white?
one is, the shelf is black, but this is a white stuff.
Stains. There's stains on the black.
What else? Did you take pictures, Mr. Lyons, of when you left the house?
Yes.
Did you take photographs? May I
Yes.
see them, please? Don't show me anymore. What is that?
Those are the pictures of the mold and whatnot growing in the bedroom
No, I
and
just
stuff
want.
like that.
I want to see, sir. Is this how you left the apartment? I just want to see if you left it clean. Is what I'm not looking at your mold. I'm finished with your mold. Get homeowners insurance.
Okay. That's one.
Go ahead. Keep going. Is that when you left, sir?
Yes.
Go ahead. What are you showing me?
Of the kitchen cabinets. That's just one of the kitchen cabinets.
If they were cleaned out?
Mm-hmm. They were clean. There wasn't anything in them. That's the bathroom.
Okay. Got it. All right, Mr. Lyons, I don't have to see anymore. Okay. When Mr. Lyons left, he left in, did you leave in August, sir?
August 1st.
You left August 1st. When did you re-rent the apartment?
September 3rd. It took me a month to clean.
No, it didn't take you a month to clean.
No, not to
You
clean.
have to clean. He
repair.
was living there for, no. Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Listen to me, sir. She didn't wrongfully evict you. You gave her notice. You had a kerfuffle about the date because you were sleeping. You don't get up until 2 o'clock. Then she called you. She wanted her rent. I'm not interested.
And later today,
You say I abandoned them. I was just miserable with humiliation, so I left them there.
Well, who would want those things back after she had been with some other guy and
I
on
don't
those
know.
things?
Maybe I wouldn't, but maybe Bird would.
Real Cases Lyons Jr. is suing his former landlord, Inez Munoz, and her daughter, Roxana Munoz, for wrongful eviction, the return of his security deposit, and damaged property.
Okay. He left August 1st. You paid $200 to take away his trash, which you shouldn't have left there. That's really your job, to hire somebody to take away all your garbage.
I
Don't you know?
did. She had told me that when she took those pictures and stuff of the place and the trash, she's like, these needs to be cleaned up. And she's like, you need to come back after she had wrongfully evicted us. And I had told
She
her, I
didn't
was
wrongfully
like,
evict you.
well, the agreement was for us to be out on the 21st. And on the
I don't, listen to me, sir. She didn't wrongfully evict you. You gave her notice. You had a kerfuffle about the date because you were sleeping. You don't get up until 2 o'clock, according to you, to go to work. And she called you. She wanted her rent. I'm not interested.
I have a proof.
I just asked you about the trash that you left behind. I'm just asking you, are you telling me that you paid to have it taken away?
Yes, I had it arranged. I had the city to come on that same week to come get it. And Roxanne knows about this because I had told her, said, okay. And then she's like, no, I'm not waiting that long. And then she got it taken care of herself. And
Yeah,
I
I
had
don't
let her
blame-
know via text.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. So far, you're entitled to your $700 back. But he cleaned up that junk that you left outside. The apartment looked pretty clean to me. And if you were lucky enough to have the apartment vacant only for 1 month, and Mr. Lyons was living there for 3 years, you have to paint the place anyway. You have to get it into shape. You can't rent it again right away. You know that.
Right.
Ridiculous. Okay, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. We're finished.
Your
Thank
Honor?
you.
Your Honor?
We are finito.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Got sick because of the mold.
The way it was delivered to them and the way it was delivered back.
We told her about it, and she told us to clean it ourselves.
Not to be nice anymore.
Not to be so nice. They always paid late.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lauder versus Draper, step forward.
Amy Lauder is suing her ex-boyfriend, Chris Draper, for an unpaid loan to get his truck fixed.
Miss Lauder, you claim that the defendant owes you for the balance of a loan to repair his truck.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about that.
Back in July, at the end of July, his truck broke down and he needed to...
That would be July of 2012.
Yes. He needed money to repair it and he didn't have money. So he asked me to loan him $900 so he could fix his truck. And he promised...
And why would he ask you to make a loan to him?
He knew that I'd gotten money. My mom passed away back in 2011 and she let
You
me...
dating at the time?
At the time I loaned him the money, we were not dating.
When had you stopped dating?
We'd broken up at the beginning of July of 2012.
On what date did you ask her for this money?
I'd never asked her for
Are
the
your
money.
hands in your pockets?
Yeah. She offered me the money.
No. You can't offer somebody money unless they know that you need money. Listen to me, I want you to follow. If I called Bird and we're talking and I say, you know, I have this truck that needs repair and I don't have any money, and Bird says to me, oh, I can help you out with that. That's understandable. But somehow it has to be communicated to Bird that my truck broke down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, did you receive a call from the truck company?
No, ma'am.
So you received a call from the truck company at your house?
No, I was at her house when it was on my cell phone.
So you were at her house when you got a call and you say, bring, hello, right? Got it?
I said, oh no, what am I going to do? I need some money. She's like, I'll give you money.
Oh, great.
Because I got money from...
How much does he... No, you didn't borrow him
Loaned
anything.
him $900 and he paid me back $100.
Okay, good. Now we have a counterclaim. So that takes care of the $800 that you owe her. Now you have a counterclaim, and you said, I purchased a washing machine, a couch, a recliner, a TV, and a desk, and I didn't take these items with me because I just left the house. So?
So we had broken up.
Just a second, you said you left, and you said, I didn't take these items with me because I just left the house we shared after humiliation I endured when I found out that she had been cheating on me for almost a year. So what are you countersuing for?
For the things that I left at her house.
You say, I abandoned them. That's what you're saying in here. I left them there because I was just miserable with humiliation, so I left them there a year ago.
Well, who would want those things back after she had been with some other guy and
I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't, but maybe Bird would. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, made to move in the middle of the virus.
I didn't evict anyone. I put a pay or vacate, which is different from eviction.
I don't think that you could do that.
That's fine. I'm good with what she said.
I think it was fair, and I'm happy it's over with.
We both work at the IRS, and, you know, we got to be professional, and so this isn't professional at all.
I don't talk to him, I don't see him, so it's not too big of a deal.
I hope that we can just move on.
Don't loan money to anybody.
I've had them since they were puppies. Nothing like this has ever happened.
But it did happen.
On social media, she spread lies after lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers.
She called them a murderer, and you wound up thinking about that. Are you just telling me you would be upset?
I don't deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
This is Judge Judy. Sarah Gordon is suing her neighbor, Michael Roston, for vet bills after his pit bulls attacked and killed her dog.
Judge, this is case number 56 on the calendar in the matter of Gordon versus Roston. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bird. Bird, would you do me a favor, please, and escort the defendant's girlfriend out of the courtroom from earshot of these proceedings for now?
That way.
Great. Mr. and Mrs. Gordon, you live in the same general vicinity where Mr. Roston lives?
Yes.
I assume, since you were walking your dog, and according to you, Mr. Roston's girlfriend, the young woman who I just had escorted out of the courtroom, I assume that was the girlfriend who was walking the dog, sir?
Yes.
So I assume that you live in the same neighborhood. On August 7th of this year, you were walking your Chihuahua.
Yes.
And I know a little bit about dogs. A fat one weighs, 12 pounds. How big was yours?
She weighed about 16 pounds.
So a fat Chihuahua.
Well, she's a Chihuahua Terrier, yes. She was kind of hefty.
And Mr. Roston has two adult, I assume they are adult, pit bulls.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they weigh each probably about 50 or 60 pounds?
Upwards of 60, both of them, probably.
How long have you had the two pit bulls, sir?
All of their lives. The mother is 8 years old, and the daughter is 4.
So they are 8 and 4?
Correct.
And so you had the 4-year-old as a puppy and as a newborn, and
yes.
The 8-year-old came to you when?
3 months, maybe. 2.5, 3 months old.
Do you own your own home or rent your house, sir?
I rent.
A house or an apartment?
It's an apartment. It's a granny flat above the garage. Well, I'm actually doing work to the property, and I'm supposed to be getting paid for it as part of the work, for the work that I've done.
So you're not paying rent? When
No.
did you stop paying rent?
I've never been paying rent on the property. I was hired. There was some issues between two siblings.
How long have you been living on the property?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, this is what your case is about. On the 7th of August, you were walking your dogs, according to you, and you'll tell me the story. Mr. Roston's girlfriend, the one who just left the courtroom, I don't know whether you saw her walking the two pit bulls, but according to you, she lost control of them.
Yes.
They attacked your dog, and your dog was seriously injured.
Yes, her.
Took her to the vet that performed emergency surgery.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they could not save her.
Yes, she passed away in the hospital 2 days after I believe it was 2 surgeries.
Okay. Mr. Roston wasn't there, so he can't tell me what happened. That's why I'm going to bring his girlfriend in later after I get some information from him. He has a counterclaim, and his counterclaim is that you worked on having declared his dogs a nuisance. They were declared by whom to be a nuisance?
The San Diego County Humane Society.
Did you have an opportunity to appear at a hearing?
Yes.
And after the hearing, they declared your dogs kill it. But that has nothing to do with me. Your dogs, they were declared a nuisance after a hearing. You had the right to testify. That's not something that I'm going to overturn. And the other part is that you had to get more insurance if you wanted to keep the dogs, because now the dogs were declared a nuisance and you have to muzzle them when you walk them. And you also had to get additional insurance. What kind of insurance did you have to get in order to keep them?
It's a renter's liability insurance.
Absolutely correct. And you do know, sir, that there are certain dogs that insurance companies will not insure if either renters or owners have those dogs, period. So you have to pay a premium. You had to pay a premium in order to keep your dogs.
I do know that. I do know that
and
now.
Show the county, well, listen, Mr. Roston, you know, it's no secret that, for me, I know that there are certain breeds of dogs, and the country knows, because it's been so well publicized, that there are certain breeds of dogs that insurance companies have declared to be inherently dangerous. I don't have to name them all, but the breed of dog that you chose to get is among that group. And if you choose to have a dog like that, and if the dog has at least one incident, then the county is going to say, we're not going to take a chance and wait until a crying baby is what these dogs are capable, not always do, but are capable of doing. So you choose to have those dogs. So I'm dismissing your counterclaim. The county declared your dogs a nuisance. You had a hearing, period.
The county declared my dogs a public nuisance because this woman
That's what
on
you
social media, on social media, she spread lies after lies after lies. Calling my dogs murderers and, okay,
sir,
that's okay to do.
You had a hearing. You had a hearing.
And you know,
you had a hearing.
I had a hearing, and Your Honor, The reason that they declared my dogs a public nuisance was not because of the action or the event on August 7th, but because of all the social media that she incited, that she got pumped up and asked her friends to call the Humane Society, call them and call them and call them and call them, send emails, take pictures, follow these guys around, even though I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, my dog's 8 years old and 4 years old. I've had them since they were puppies. And I am adamant about making sure that my dogs never get off the leash, never get off the harness. Nothing like this ever happened.
But they did.
Yes, right,
Mr.
they did.
Mr. Rustin, but look at me, sir. Look at me, sir. But they did.
Never happen again because she'll never be walking the dogs by herself. That was...
But Mr. Rustin, Mr. Rustin, it's not to argue with me. I'm telling you, you didn't intend for it to happen. Your girlfriend never intended for it to happen, but it did happen. Now, I want you to think, and as you said to me, she'll never walk the dogs again. That's what you said.
That's correct.
Right? So
Absolutely.
You know now that that is a potential hazard because you have very strong dogs and your girlfriend wasn't able to control them for a minute. And during that minute, the dog created a situation which caused the death of her pet. Now, I want you to think about this, sir. I want you to think about you walking your dogs, and your dogs were on a leash crossing the street. A 16-year-old who wasn't supposed to be driving ran a red light, hit your dogs. You took them to the vet because you love them. They operated on them. They couldn't save them. How angry would you be?
I would be very upset.
I
would be very upset.
Before you see how you welled up a moment ago when you were talking about your dogs and what she called them a murderer. So I'm asking, and you welled up thinking about that, and so I'm asking, be upset.
I would be very upset.
With somebody who ran.
I would grieve. I don't deny her feelings.
Everybody.
I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Well, you say it's ridiculous. I'm telling you that I don't know what somebody who wells up thinking about their dogs being declared a nuisance as opposed to somebody who witnessed their dog being killed. I don't know how that person would react to somebody who negligently went through a stop sign and killed the dogs that you've had since puppies, that you clearly adore. And that you clearly said to me, my girlfriend will never walk those dogs again. And for that, I respect you more than the answer that you gave me, which is why I put the girlfriend outside.
So,
because
Your
when
Honor,
we come inside, she's going to give me a whole different story. That's why I put her. I just knew it.
Now, can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Do you think that if this 16-year-old kid ran a stop sign, that I would not be satisfied with him not having his license any further? Or do you think that I would go? I
have no idea. I have no idea.
Killed because he killed my dogs.
I have no idea. Your dogs weren't killed, muzzled when they're out, and in order to keep them, it's going to cost you money, so that we're sure, as a community, that your girlfriend doesn't walk those dogs again. Now, Bird, would you bring in the girlfriend? Because we know what happened. You're walking the Chihuahua. The dogs got away from the girlfriend. That's what he said, because that's what his girlfriend told him. Now we're going to hear what she has to say. And, sir, I would like you to sit down.
No problem.
I would like you to sit down. Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I do not know if her dog had their leash on. I know that his two, they absolutely had their harnesses on.
Is what you're telling me, that's what you told you? I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story.
And later today,
you called them and said, my floors buckled because of the leaky refrigerator, and I want you to pay $3,700 to fix them. And what did the company say to you?
They said they're not liable.
That's absolutely right.
Sarah Gordon says 2 pit bulls owned by neighbor Michael Roston attacked and killed her Chihuahua. Michael is counterful.
Now, tell me your name, please.
Whitney Falk, F-A-L-K.
Miss Falk, I want you to tell me your version of what happened on August 7th this year when you were walking your boyfriend's 2 dogs.
Okay. I put their harnesses on. I walked them up to the top of the alley. It's very, very dark up there. There's no street lights. I was going to cross the street and go up the alley, continue on up the alley. I changed my mind. I turned left onto the sidewalk, and at the time there was a large Econovan parked as close to the entrance of the alley as possible, and then there's a small dirt strip. So when I turned left, the girls stopped and we were sniffing around, and I was behind the van, so I couldn't see anyone. We're all looking to the left. I heard a noise to my right, and it startled all 3 of us, the girls and I. And
the girls, you're talking about the dogs?
Yes, yes.
So you heard a noise?
I heard a noise. I didn't see anyone. And then
okay.
All I know is that her dog and our dogs met in mutual combat, and that's pretty much all I could see, because after that, once I realized
so what you're telling me is your 2 dogs, which each weigh, or your boyfriend's dogs, which each weigh 60 pounds, were engaged in mutual combat with a Chihuahua, and that all 3 dogs had their leashes on.
I do not know if her dog had their leash on. I know that my 2, or his 2, they absolutely had their harnesses on, without a doubt.
Harnesses and their leashes on?
Yes.
Yes.
They both had...
Is what you're just a second. Is what you're telling me, that's what you told you? I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story.
Huh, really?
I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story. He said, which he must have gotten from you because he wasn't there, that the dogs got away from you, and that's why you'll never walk the dogs again.
I never said they weren't on leashes with harnesses.
They were on leashes.
You said the dogs got away. Okay. We're done. We're done.
Ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Over.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She's campaigning for that. That's her ultimate goal, to have my dogs put to sleep.
I don't want his dogs to be put down. I never said that. I just want them walked with muzzles.
The incident that happened, that was what's called an accident.
I don't want any other dogs to be murdered again by pit bulls in the neighborhood.
Steps forward.
Sean Bodian is suing appliance repairman Andrew Coveridge for damage to his floors caused by a leaky refrigerator.
Mr. Bodian.
Yes, Your Honor.
In a nutshell, this is what your case is. You have a home, and you have a company that you pay an annual contract to take care of all of your electrical appliances.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have the same kind of company. You pay them a set fee, it's very expensive, and you can call them any day, 24/7, and tell them I have a problem with my air conditioning, with my stove, with my refrigerator, with my ice maker, and they send a technician.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were having a problem with the refrigerator. You called the company that you were dealing with, and the company sent the defendant to fix your leaky refrigerator. He had to come back 2 different times. He fixed one leak. It continued to leak. He came back, or he or somebody who worked for him came back again, fixed the second leak. But during that period of time, your floors were damaged underneath the refrigerator from the leaks. And you want the defendant, who was sent by the company that you employ, to pay $3,700 for new floors. That's your case. Start dealing with reality.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You show me a paid bill that you paid to the defendant.
I don't have one.
Of course not, because your contract is with Worldwide Services. You had no contract with him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sean Bodian says appliance repairman Andrew Coveridge is responsible for damaging his floors.
Now, how long have you had this company that you pay for annually?
On and off around 18 years.
Okay. Are you a businessman, sir?
Yes.
What kind of business are you in?
IT, computers.
Is it your own business?
Yes, and my wife's.
Do you have business insurance?
Yes.
Because you need insurance. So I'd assume, Mr. Bodian, when you, some 18 years ago, started to do business with this company that you employ, let's call them Worldwide Safety, I don't want to name them. You determined that Worldwide Safety was a reputable business and that they carry insurance.
Yes.
I did that. When I employed my company, I made sure that they had sufficient insurance in case they did any damage to any of my property, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm that the floors in your home were damaged because your refrigerator leaked.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also have homeowners insurance?
Right now, no.
Did you have homeowners insurance when there was a leak in your refrigerator?
No.
Because you do know that that's what homeowners insurance is for.
Yes.
So let us assume that the leaky refrigerator, which was 10 years old?
Yes, approximately.
10.
Approximately.
The leaky refrigerator caused the floors to become buckled and have to be replaced. Let us assume for the moment that that's true. Why in the world would you think that it's the defendant's responsibility? That's number one. And number two, I assume the first people that you called were the company that you employed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You called them and said, my floor's buckled because of the leaky refrigerator, and I want you to pay $3,700 to fix them. And what did the company say to you?
They said they're not liable.
That's absolutely right. That's what they said to you. What are you suing him for? You don't have any contract with him. You have a contract with the people who you pay. He's their agent. It would be like he was an attorney that they just reach out to you. You don't sue him. You sue the company. You're going to lose. But if you want to sue somebody, what are you suing him for? You have no contract with him.
May I, Your Honor?
Oh, you can't?
I'm suing the company because it was negligence of the technician.
No. You sue the company, not the technician. You have no contract with the defendant.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okie dokie. You show me a paid bill that you paid to the defendant.
No, I don't have one.
Of course not, because your contract is with the owner of Worldwide Services, not him. You never paid him. You had no contract with him. He's the agent of the company. It was your negligence for not having homeowners insurance, which actually would have covered the damage to the floor. But you're suing the wrong person, Mr. Badian. Do you understand? I think you're a smart businessman. You're an IT guy. You understand exactly what I'm saying. You did your best. It was a shot in the dark. It didn't work.
I thought they were responsible because the technician came out 4 or 5 times. They couldn't stop the leak.
Whole of the company that you pay, and you say this was not a good technician. I want you to send somebody else.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Once they come out, and then we have to sign a paperwork from this company. Isn't that a contract that I signed with this company?
No, you never hired them and you never paid them. The first time they came out, the second time they came out, if they came out 5 times, you never paid them because you were covered by the company that you contract with. Goodbye. We're done here. Your case is dismissed.
Thank you very much. Concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy. After the reception.
A fraudulent wedding.
Deception.
He refused to sign the marriage certificate.
Why didn't you sign it?
Next Judge Judy.
They fixed it, but after a few days, it started leaking again.
He did very good job.
Well, I have to pay for it myself, I guess.
I believe it's right decision.
She came into me, I felt super bad.
A mechanic promised to make it right.
How much to fix your car?
He said anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000.
Where did you get?
The judge can salvage it.
Did you fix her car?
I did not.
That means you just took her money.
No, ma'am, I was trying.
Try. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You did nothing.
This is Judge Judy. Tara Dern is suing Enrique De La Vara for the return of money she paid him to fix her car after she'd been in an accident. Tara claims Enrique didn't do any work.
Judges, case number 102 on the calendar in the matter of Dern versus Della Vara. Parties have been sworn in.
Ms. Dern, you had an accident with your car. According to you, you were rear-ended by someone, and then you went into the car in front of you. Is that what happened?
I was bumped in an accident, and the impact shocked me, and I rear-ended somebody, and it was a really bad accident.
So you had damage to both the front and rear of your car?
Correct.
In what month and year did the accident happen?
July 27th, 2020.
According to your complaint, you had liability insurance on your car, which is a relatively new car, but did not have collision on the car. So whatever expenses were going to be, they were going to be your expenses, because what I understand from your complaint is that the person who hit you fled the scene.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Do you have a police report of that incident?
I do not.
Do you have any paperwork with regards to the company pay the car that you hit?
We're still in the investigation. I do have some pictures of evidence from the accident.
No, I want to know if you have any documentation from your insurance company. Who were your insurance carriers?
Geico. I have Geico insurance.
And you had them on that date, on the date of the accident?
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
Well, you hit the car in front of you. Did you give that car owner your insurance information?
Yes.
Were you contacted by Geico?
Yes.
Did Geico settle that claim?
It's still being under investigation.
Do you have any letters from Geico back and forth?
Not with me, but I have received letters.
That they're still investigating the accident?
Yes, correct.
And police were not called to the scene?
Police were called.
If the police were called, there was a report?
Yes, I didn't bring the information, Your Honor.
You didn't bring the police report?
I didn't bring it.
I'd like to see photographs of your car after the accident. Do you have one full picture of the car? And then you can show me its parts.
Here's the front. Here's the back.
Okay, so that's where you hit somebody, and that's...
This is the rear. I have multiple rears.
Got it. Okay. That's a pretty bad accident. Was anybody hurt?
I had some chemical burn on my hand, but...
From?
The airbag.
From the airbag?
Yes.
How did you find the defendant who you brought your car to fix?
So I posted something on the San Diego Conscious Community page in regards to looking for someone who specializes under collision repair. So someone that I knew personally referred me to the shop TJ Crossman's, and she specifically asked me to ask for a guy named Ricky. So I said, great, I'm being taken care of. I'm just really looking forward to getting my vehicle fixed. So I
Who
went.
was this person?
This woman is someone that I knew that I thought I could trust.
Who?
Her name is Dulcet.
And how did she say she knew Ricky?
She didn't specify. She just said, here's the shop you should go to. Ask for a guy named Ricky.
So you went and you found Ricky, and Ricky worked at a body shop.
Yes, correct.
Was your car drivable or not?
It was not. I had to get it towed there.
On what date did you get it towed there?
August 4th.
Mr. Della Vara, you're shaking your head no. It wasn't towed to your shop?
No, it was towed to the shop, ma'am. Your Honor, it wasn't a body shop. We're an automotive repair shop. Well, I don't work there anymore, but it was an automotive repair shop. It wasn't a body shop.
Okay. So what kind of work do you do?
I'm a health coach, and I also teach classes.
Go ahead. Previous to the accident, what?
I was driving Uber as well. My vehicle is my means of making money, so just extra money.
When you brought your car into this mechanic's shop and you asked for Ricky, he introduced himself. And did you make a side deal with him that he would fix the car on his own time?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Okay. And the side deal that you made with him, which he would not be doing on his boss's time, was how much to fix your car?
He said anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000.
Had you gotten other estimates to fix the car?
No, Your Honor. At the time, I was living in fear. I was very emotional, and I just wanted to get my car fixed. I wasn't thinking clearly at the time.
Where did you get the money?
I just had money. It was my life savings.
You had the money where? In a savings account or in a checking account? In what? What bank?
It was Huntington Bank. It was in my checking account.
Now, you say you wired the defendant money to start working on your car. Do you have proof of that wire?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Here's the first payment of $3,000.
And that went into what account of yours, Mr. Della Vara?
It was a Western Union. I just went and picked up the cash. It didn't go into an account.
Okay, so she wired it and you picked it up in cash at Western Union. And you another payment.
Yes.
When?
I think it was 2 weeks after.
How much did she send you?
Another $2,000.
Did you fix her car?
I did not.
Why not?
I was in the process of getting the parts for the car, and I mean, I tried to save her some money because she was...
How long did it take you to get the parts for the car?
Well, I never got them.
When did she first send you the $3,000? On what date?
I don't remember.
Was that in August?
I don't remember the date, ma'am. It may have been.
What was the date?
It was the day of the accident. The day that she ran into me, or when I met her. That afternoon or the next day, she sent me the money, and I went and picked it up. Thing is that for me to save her the money that I was trying to get her for $5,000. That repair, because I ended up taking it to one of the body shops that we used, and they gave me an estimate, because I was going to try to fix the car through them. It was $10,000. She came into me. I felt super bad. She was...
You had the car for 3 months. What did the car look like after 3 months? You had the car and her money.
It looked the same because...
Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
It was in the same condition as when it was towed into your shop.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, that's outrageous, sir.
Well, the thing is that I was trying to get the parts.
That means you just took her money.
No, ma'am, I was trying.
No, you just took her money. That's really outrageous, sir. That's really outrageous.
Okay, ma'am, I was trying to get the parts. I was trying to save her money. When I saw her, she was...
Try. Took her money.
Your Honor, look, this...
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I actually contacted the woman who referred me to the shop, and I said...
I knew what it was going to cost to repair the car, and I just tried to help her out. Things fell through.
I wouldn't even dare to refer anyone to this person.
It was repairable. It's just extensive repair.
And then later to find that my car wasn't worked on at all.
And like I said, we weren't a body shop. We were just an automotive repair shop, so I was just trying to help her out.
Yes, it's going to be fixed. I have to just slowly make payments as I go.
Well, she went to my work and told him that I stole her money. And that was my only source of income.
I'm glad that justice is served.
I was going to pay for it, but I lost my job, so now there's no way of paying it.
All parties in the matter of Gray versus Farrell. Step to the podium, please.
Kathy Gray is suing Jason and Lavetta Farrell after a run-in with their dogs caused Kathy to fall and injure one of her dogs.
Miss Gray, you and your husband and Mr. Farrell and Mrs. Farrell, all four of you were victims of a fire that occurred in Napa Valley sometime last year. Is that correct?
It was this year in August.
August.
Yes.
And both of your families and your pets were relocated to a hotel. And you, Mrs. Gray, have 3 Shih Tzus.
I do. I only have 2 now. I did have 3 at the time.
But you had 3 in August.
Correct.
And you have 1 dog, the dog that's with you. And it is your claim that on the 23rd of August, you went out with your 3 Shih Tzus to walk them, and you took your dog out for a walk. Mm-hmm. You went through the hotel lobby. According to you, at the time you went through the lobby, your dog was on leash. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Not an is not an answer. Yes is an answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you got outside, did you take your dog off leash?
No, Your Honor.
Is what you're telling me that your dog was on leash when this incident happened?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Plaintiff says otherwise. I would like you to make sure that what you tell me is true, because I'm not sure whether you are responsible for the vet bills that plaintiff incurred anyway. But it's important to me to have all of the accurate information. Do you understand? This is not a murder trial. Okay. So your dog was, according to you, on leash.
Yes, Your Honor.
And according to you, Miss Gray, your dogs were on leash. You came out of the hotel. Mr. Farrell's dog was not on leash. You had an exchange of words with him. He said something like, my dog is friendly and barking. That be a fair statement?
I'll tell you the story.
Would that be a fair statement? I'm asking you a question.
They were that way when they saw the defendant's dog, yes.
Yes. They were excited and barking.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I could recreate that situation right now.
Me too.
If I wanted to, which I don't. And what happened is the dogs were sort of running around, your dog, on leash.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Farrell's dog never touched either of your dogs.
No, they did not.
Or you.
No.
Or got within probably 8 feet of you.
Of me or the dogs? Probably 8 feet is probably the distance.
8 feet. I said, didn't get within 8 feet of you or your dogs.
Right.
Your dogs were barking, running around, and you got entangled in their leashes and fell.
No, that's
and
not what
fell
happened.
on the dogs.
That isn't what happened.
Did you fall on the dogs?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You have to demonstrate how his dog being off leash was the cause of your tripping over your dog. Then
What do you
have
want
to
to
show
see?
me.
What do you want to
that
see?
you-
First of all, they're lying. Their dog was not on a leash.
Kathy Gray is suing Jason and Lavetta Farrell after a run-in with their dogs caused Kathy to fall and injure one of her dogs.
Your dogs were barking, running around, and you got entangled in their leashes and fell.
No, that's
and
not what
fell
happened.
on the dogs.
That isn't what happened.
Did you fall on the dogs?
I did fall on the dogs. I fell back on the dogs after I yanked them behind me. My dogs weren't running around. They were sniffing around to go potty, whatever. He came out of the hotel glass door with his dog off leash. There's bushes in between us and him. He looked at me and said, "Don't worry, she doesn't bite." And I said, "It doesn't matter if she bites or not. My dogs will bark. They're Shih Tzus. They're going to bark." So they barked and they all pulled on my leashes. His dog came through the bushes going, "Arr!" And I yanked them back behind me, and I tripped off the curb that was behind me and landed on all 3 of them. That's exactly what happened, Your Honor.
Well, you tell me, madam, if his dog didn't come within 8 feet of you, what caused his dog to stop?
Because they noticed
your
each
dogs
other.
are barking.
My
dogs
dogs-
dogs are very fast. Dogs
Yeah.
are very, very fast. If he came out snarling and running towards your dogs, because
it was very quick.
Because he didn't get.
Can I explain
Of
what
course it
happened?
was very quick.
Can I show you a picture?
Go ahead.
See, which one should I do? So this one here. So we're walking from this direction. My dogs were up in here sniffing around. I was standing right here with them on their
Just a second.
leashes.
Hold on a second. Okay. You were standing where?
I was standing like
Show
right
me where
here.
you were standing.
Probably somewhere around here.
Okay. Somewhere around here is not an
No,
answer.
I
Show me
mean-
where you were standing. It's your picture.
Right here.
Well, first you showed me closer to the curb.
Well, because, I mean, it happened so fast. I was holding their leash. They were sniffing around. And when I yanked them back, I fell off that curb. They came out of this door right here.
Just show me, Miss Gray. I now see where you were standing, and show me where your dogs were sniffing.
All around here.
And don't say anything. Okay, that looks to me about 10 to 12 feet away from you. Were they on retractable leashes or just long
believe
leashes?
one
Were they on?
was.
Look, no. Just listen to me. Don't say I believe. I want you to think. Were they on retractable leashes or short leashes?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It lunged at us, and it was snarling, and its teeth were showing, and it happened so fast. It happened if his dog wasn't there.
I'm not buying it.
Okay, you're not buying it, but it's true.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kathy Gray is suing Jason and Lavetta Farrell after a run-in with their dogs caused Kathy to fall and injure one of her dogs.
That looks to me about 10 to 12 feet away from you. Were they on retractable leashes or just long
believe
leashes?
one
Were they on?
was.
Look, no. Just listen to me. Don't say I believe. I want you to think. Were they on retractable leashes or short leashes?
I'm trying to remember
I have
because
three
we
shih tzus,
were
by the way.
I know you do. We were evacuated. We were improvising. So I think I had one of them on retractable leash. I'm trying to remember. Everything was. But if I did, and I don't think I did because I can't yank that one back. So no, and the leashes aren't any longer than 8 feet. I think they're only 6-foot leashes.
That's more than 6 feet away from where you were standing if you tripped back over the curb, which is what you said happened.
Yeah, but I thought you asked me if the dog was within 8 feet of my dogs and me. So they were, it was close.
Just a second. What I'm telling you, where you say you were standing and tripped and fell over that curb, which is what you wrote in your complaint,
Well, actually, no, they were in the air.
If they were...
Because I yanked them back behind me and I tripped.
Oh, okay. He's not responsible for you falling and injuring your dog.
Okay. But I have
He's
video
not
of his dog
responsible.
off leash.
His dog is off leash.
Your Honor,
is a bad
I had to
thing.
go through so
Miss
much.
Gray, that his dog is off leash is not a good thing. You have to demonstrate how his dog being off leash was the proximate cause of your tripping over your dog.
Definitely
or
the
over
reason
your
why
back.
I fell.
Then
What do you
have
want
to
see?
show me.
What do you want to see?
You
First
say
of all,
you
they're
have,
lying. Their dog was not on a leash. They're lying, and she was there.
I am assuming. I'm assuming that their dog was off leash. I'm assuming that their dog was off leash. You have to show a cause between their dog being off leash and you're falling backwards. Now, what I don't believe is that their dog was off leash and lunged at your dog. Because and the reason I don't believe that is I'm a dog owner. If a dog that's off leash is going to attack 3 little dogs, it doesn't stop cold in its tracks from attacking the little dogs, especially when they're no longer, as control of them is on the floor. Then it would have absolutely gone if it was gnarling and snapping, as you allege.
It snarled, it lunged at us, and it was snarling, and its teeth were showing, and it happened so fast, I just yanked my dog's back, and I fell. And it would not have happened if his dog wasn't there.
I'm not buying it.
Okay, you're not buying it, but it's true.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I'm not buying it. It doesn't make sense to me. As a dog owner my whole life, I realize that your dogs are Shih Tzus, and you say Shih Tzus bark. Well, I have 3 Shih Tzus. 2 of them bark, 1 of them does not. And they bark at everybody. They bark as soon as they walk in. And the breed is not consistently known as yappers. But your dogs, prior to this case starting, when they walked in, they were the ones that were barking because I was at the bench. They were the ones that went after the defendant's dog. And then you picked them up. And I watched that.
Okay.
And then you picked them up.
Okay.
That's what happened.
You're the judge.
Okay, your case is dismissed. We're done.
The parties are excused.
You guys think it's really funny, don't you? You guys lied.
And on the next Judge Judy.
She collided into my bike, and I had to stop my fall before I was hit by a truck. She said, "I'm sorry, but I'm running late for school."
Judge Judy.
I think Judge Judy did justice, and regardless of anything, as you could see, we did not have to talk.
Because they're guilty and they lied.
Dog on or off a leash, her dogs were the aggressors.
They lied that their dog was on a leash.
And she wasn't even on a curb when she fell.
Yes, I saw him 3 times that day with your dog off leash.
I actually already handed the dog to her at the hotel entrance, and when I turned around,
because it's a bigger dog, it came at us through the bushes snarling, and so of course I'm gonna protect my dogs and fling him behind me.
The lady says, "I'm really sorry," and got tangled up. She had 1 leash that divided into 3.
It all happened like bam, and yes, when they all noticed each other, my dogs barked.
Got tangled up in her leashes and fell.
It happened so fast, I think I did, but it tripped off the curb.
I was upset about her dog's leg being broken in the middle of it. My animal is a service dog. She goes to old folks' homes and wonderful with children. She just couldn't contain her dogs at that point.